Welcome in, Huntsville. Another wonderful good morning to you. Thanks for waking up with us.
What do you love about Huntsville? What makes this a great place to be?
Everyone here is very genuine and very kind and friendly. You never hesitate to speak up and say hello or good morning or just acknowledge the person walking by.
The thing that I love most about Huntsville, I love the peace that Huntsville brings. I love the peace that it gives me.
I feel accepted and part of the town and like I belong here.
Huntsville is where my lovely wife lived when I met her, so I moved here. So I'm pretty thankful for her.
For you in Huntsville, Texas.
Hey, good morning, Huntsville. Welcome back in on a Friday. Seems like here we go. It's just a good old clock that keeps on ticking.
That's right. It sure does. Thank goodness for that.
That's right. Thank goodness for Timex. You know, are those commercials still around?
I had not. It takes a licking and keeps on ticking.
I haven't seen those in ages.
Right.
So
I don't think so.
You're wearing a watch. I used to wear a watch,
Yeah,
but
I wear a watch every day.
I bust them all the time. I break my. But yours is probably an aviation type watch.
It is. It's a Breitling aviation watch.
Awesome.
Aviator watch. Yeah.
There we go. That's how we're going to start it today. How about that? A little chat here with Greg Smith, the Sam Houston Memorial Funeral Home. As always, we appreciate the generous support from the folks that are experts in celebrating life here in Huntsville, Texas. And every Friday, it's either Greg or Billy. Billy's on that 2-week hiatus. And have you heard from him?
I have. I've seen several pictures. Billy is down in the Florida Keys. He's on a little Boy Scout trip. His son, James, is about almost finishing up his Eagle Scout. So they're down there at the Sea Center down in Key Largo, Florida, and I'm about ready for him to come home.
Yeah, I bet so.
We miss him.
It's good that he gets a nice 2-week reprieve, but, you know, it's always good to get away. And I was just thinking of friends like Stephanie Pitts and Brian Adams. You know, they had a really rough vacation. You know, they're in St. George and then Hawaii.
Oh, so. They went to Hawaii, and then they came back to St. John.
St. John's, that's right.
St. John, and for a wedding, and they had it rough.
And then Billy, you know, in Florida, that just sounds, boy, that's just got to be tough.
Well, he really tried to paint a bleak picture. You know, he was out there on this sailboat, and there's no air conditioning, and it was hot, and no wind, and I said, spare me, okay, you know. He's really roughing it.
Well, friends, we got a great show lined up today. Before we dig in and highlight what we're talking about, want to make sure that you let us know what you're up to today. Let us know what you're thankful for. As always, we always appreciate folks joining us here. And again, let us know what you're thankful for this afternoon or this morning. I'm kind of stuck in thinking it's afternoon still, Greg. It is far from afternoon, but we are here this morning on a Friday. And I just wanted to double check. If some of the titles didn't come across on the show this morning, just ignore that. We'll get that updated after the show later today. I try to go, yeah, it's on there. There we go. So I just wanted to make sure. I saw something earlier that said from yesterday's show. But today joined, we'll have here in a few moments, Chrissy Cogdell joining us. She's the founder of First Touch Family. So we're excited to have her on coming up here. Chrissy Mafrige-Cogdell will be joining us. And we'll talk to her about her great organization, just helping a lot of folks here in this community. She's also got some initiatives that are going on right now. I think of July. I think of Christmas in July. So we'll talk to her about that.
Right. Yeah.
So that's coming up soon as well. Greg, what have you been up to? How are things going with you? I know you're, as always, just rocking and rolling. And I was up until 2 a.m. I couldn't sleep last night, and then I saw you like to post of mine at 5 a.m. or something. So I said, man, Greg's already up and rolling today.
Oh, yeah. Well, I get up. I go to bed with the chickens and get up with the roosters there. Yeah, we get up, get going, and get out of there.
What's this past week been like for you? What's been new in the world of Greg Smith?
It's been a great week. It's kind of people really are surprised when I say this a lot of times, but the summertime is kind of a slower time in the funeral home. People are out and about and healthy and getting outside and getting fresh air, and it's just a little slower time, thank goodness. So we take advantage of that by doing some maintenance on our buildings and facilities, and doing some painting and updating, and we're planning on a new addition to the location here in Huntsville this fall, and putting in a reception area with a full kitchen and everything. Wow. So we're busy getting permits and planning and getting that going. And so, yeah, it's always busy no matter what we're doing.
There's some exciting news that came across, and as always, appreciate our city, and Tammy does excellent work with Tammy Gann as our economic developer, or director of economic development. Sorry, man, I'm a little, I told you last night I couldn't sleep. I was up till 2 a.m., and my brain takes a little while to get going here on a Friday sometimes, but Tammy's done excellent work with the city. I just saw yesterday a new business here that's going to be bringing at least 50 jobs to the area, manufacturing. They do some advanced water metering and things like that, and I think about this community, and so many times we're focused on the great folks at the university, and not downplaying them. They do tremendous work. TDCJ, you think about the major employers, but there is a lot of opportunity here in Huntsville. And Greg, I know that you stay on top of things as well, and we talked about the airport and its expansion coming down the road, but with the organization, manufacturing business, bringing 50-plus jobs, that's huge for this community.
It is. I understand it'll be the only water meter manufacturing company in the United States, and a big new business coming into town. Huntsville is just on the verge of, everybody thinks it's exploding now. Well, just wait a few years, because as the Woodlands, it's totally built out. You can't even buy a lot in the Woodlands, so all that's coming to the Conroe-Willis area. There's 3 huge subdivisions going in Willis, and that's just moving the farther north. And Chrissy knows a little bit about the building business. Her husband's a home builder, and so it's a good time to be in Huntsville, Texas.
I always say, if you have an opportunity to buy real estate, don't ever shy away from that. And
right.
Bridget, and when I sold my IT business, one thing that I wanted to do was I wanted to find a little plot somewhere, Lake Buchanan, which is in the hill country.
Right.
We grew up about an hour to the east of Burnett, Texas, in Georgetown. So there was a highway there, 29. Well, Lake Buchanan, there were some lots for sale. A neighborhood called Council Creek. And the cat's already out of the bag. Normally, I would never talk about it, because I was hoping one day I could come across some more, reserve and be able to buy a few more of these lots. I bought a lot out there, basically 2 streets away. If we built a 2-story structure from this lot, we'd be able to see the beautiful lake down there.
Yeah.
And so that's always the plan. Well, we ended up buying that lot. I bought it. Bridget got it. She's like, what? She knew after the fact. I'll put it that way.
Yeah.
And I just had a good gut feeling about it.
And that's not a good plan, by the way.
It's not. That was early on, but Bridget now sees it as a good plan because of how real estate has grown. But she wants me to sell it. I refuse to sell it. I bought that lot for about $2,500, and this was years ago. And it's not much, but to me, I'm thankful for it, Greg, because in the area it's in, and that's growing and developing. And to think about a lot that I bought, what are we talking about? Maybe 5 years ago for $2,500. I just got the appraisal from Burnett County, and man, that thing shot up to like $15,000. Wow. And I said, my goodness, I wish I would have bought about 10 of these at the time. And there was a gentleman next to me that had owned 2 of them. You know, they kind of piece them together. It's a small lot. You start talking point acres. It's not big, but 0.11 acres is all it was. Well, the gentleman next to me had 2 other lots that he had put together. I know there's technical words for all that, but he basically had put those together but never paid the taxes on it. We're talking $30 a year for the taxes out here. And then you pay a $100 HOA fee to the lake access. But the funny thing was, as I reached out, I found this gentleman. He was living in Las Vegas, and I had sent him a letter. And maybe it was a little too aggressive because it was a certified letter. I wanted to make sure that he got it and I was really nice in the letter, and I put on there, hey, I'm interested in you acquiring your lot. I'll be more than happy to pay the back taxes on it, because I found out he hadn't paid taxes in 10 years. And I asked the county, can I just come in there and pay the taxes and get the land? They said, it doesn't work that way, young man. We'll put it on the auction block. Right. Well, long story short is I found the gentleman's number. I called him. He was very hasty with me and said, don't ever call me again. Slammed the phone down. 2 weeks later, it goes on the auction block, and I thought nobody knew about this. So I'm going to get 2 other little lots next to mine. And
everybody knew about it.
Yeah, man. And the internet just ruins it all. Yeah. You know, back in the day, it was the courthouse steps, right? Now it's the internet. And so, of course, I'm thinking nobody's going to bid on this. I get in there, and you know, I'm willing to spend $10,000 on these other 2 lots, because that would have put me at half an acre out by the lake, which would have been nice. Right. Well, long story short is, of course, some guy starts bidding on it with me, and that thing shoots over $10,000. I'm like, I'm not going to pay for this. Here's the catch to all this, and why I said it, and why real estate's so important. You know it, Greg. The other day, last year, I get a hold of this gentleman. And he said, Rob, I'll sell you both those lots if you want them for $20,000. I said, man, I had at the time, because I'd sold my IT, I had the cash to do it. I said, man, I just can't do that. I'm kind of waking up some days, you know, with that just feeling of, man, I really should have got into that.
Remorse.
He ended up turning around. Somebody had just sold those lots for almost $50,000. Yeah. But there you go. So if you got a gut feeling, go with your gut. Sometimes your heart tells you no, but your gut tells you different. I used to have the attitude of going with your heart. As I've gotten older, I think your gut plays a big role into that, Greg.
I agree. You've got to be very discerning.
So, yeah. So
make good decisions.
Maybe that's the message today. I don't want to take away, because your heart does a lot of good things, but we always try to have an encouraging and uplifting. I have no idea where we're going with this morning, but maybe the message today is, you know what, listen to your heart, but sometimes make sure you pay attention to your gut.
That's right.
We got a good one again lined up today. Greg Smith joining us from Sam Houston Memorial Funeral Home. Did want to remind you, we are giving away some gift baskets from our good friend Victoria, Be the Light Counseling. We have a his and hers care baskets that are being given away today. We're going to do it earlier in the week, but we had Guardian Defense that had some gifts as well. And then yesterday, our friends from ASSE International Student Exchange had some gifts. But all you got to do, it's the final morning that you can text in the keyword fireworks. This is the final hoorah for the 4th of July, Greg. We extended it here until July the 7th. So all you got to do, text in the keyword fireworks along with your name to 936-339-0139. Again, that number 936-339-0139. Text that in to us, and we'll pick you at the end of the show. But you got to answer the phone.
Got to answer the phone. Exactly.
2 days ago, Greg, can you believe it? And people know the rules now because we're getting a lot of interaction. 2 days ago, we called 3 people that had won because we just kept drawing them, and none of them answered. Right. Finally, the 4th person answered. So
yeah, I don't blame them. I don't answer a call that's not in my database. I get too many spam calls and people that I don't know, and so if it's not in my database, they can leave a voicemail and I'll call them back.
I'm thinking of the spam calls in your line of business. I mean, what are the, trying to sell you things?
I don't know. I don't ever answer them.
You don't answer them. Well, tough news for the folks a few days ago was the first 3 callers, we were giving away $1 million. They didn't answer.
Oh, yeah, exactly.
So the 4th caller, we gave away Guardian Defense.
That was probably me you were calling.
Well, friends, let us know. Again, you're out there. A lot of folks chiming in already. We appreciate them. We'll get to it here in just a few moments. I've also got an announcement coming that we'll talk about at the end of the show. There is one big one, and I know we're hopping and bouncing here this morning, Greg. I cannot forget about this. I received a message last night, and of course, now here I've got to try to find it. We live in an age to where there's so many ways to communicate with people that it's hard to remember exactly how someone got a hold of you. Do you ever have that problem?
I understand, yes.
So I had a message last night, and man, I'm trying to find it here, and I can't find it. So I'm going to take a break, and I'll find it before the end of the show. But I've got a very important birthday shout-out that'll be happening here a little bit later on the show as well. So we'll step aside. We'll take a break. Stay with us. We got a lot more to come. Here's Chrissy. Will join us on the other side. When we come back, this is your show, Good Morning Huntsville. Happy Friday, friends. Welcome back in on another edition, episode 64 of Good Morning Huntsville, as we're cruising right along. And I got to be careful to just tap on the brakes, because when you start saying cruising right along like it's casual,
Right.
and you turn around and here it is July the 7th, and tomorrow it'll be July the 31st, and then the next week it'll be Bearcat football starting up again.
I can't wait.
So we just got to tap the brakes, Greg.
That's right.
Just ease on back, tap the brakes a little bit. So I want to welcome in this morning and appreciate our good friend being here with us today, Miss Chrissy Cogdell joining us. Chrissy, good to have you on, the founder and executive director of First Touch Family. So great to have you.
Thank you for having me.
You bet. And
Chrissy.
Thanks, Greg.
I'll let Greg kind of chat with you a moment, because you and Greg have a friendship that goes back quite a while, which is great.
22 years?
We do. We were just talking about it. I met Chrissy in 2001. We were the lone tailgater out there in the parking lot. There was no such thing as tailgating at Bauer Stadium. And I remember Chrissy worked for the university, worked for the Alumni Association, and met her coming across the parking lot and said, hey, we need to know each other.
Yes. And it's been a great friendship. I'm
It
grateful
has.
for it.
We have. And then she married a great guy, Ron Mafrige, the guy that the field house is named after.
Yes.
And what a great big real estate developer down in Houston. And Ron was a personal friend of mine.
Yeah, mine too.
Yours too. He was a mentor. He was a friend, good guy. He was instrumental in helping all the athletic teams at the university, and he was definitely a friend and a Bearcat.
And he gave all the memorabilia for the business department that's there, and a lot of vaudevillian memorabilia for the theater department. Actually, that's where I was when he wooed me.
Yeah.
But yeah, one of the greatest men I've ever known.
Yeah. Ron nominated me for the Service Award for the university, which is the highest award that you can get at the university for a non-alumni. And I was honored to receive that a few years ago. And he's just a great guy. I have, to this day, you may or may not know this, but I've got quite a bit of memorabilia that I bought from either Ron or you, or
Yes.
I've got some really cool
Yes.
stuff that I'm very proud of. I got a Mickey Mantle autograph.
Yeah.
A picture, and I've got some really cool stuff.
I think I may have written your service award nomination.
You probably did.
Probably,
You probably did. Thanks.
You're welcome.
Greg is
Congratulations.
Greg is one of these gentlemen that you get to. And of course, you guys have known each other for just a great amount of time and been such great friends. But this is a story for all of you out there this morning, that if everyone would be just a little bit more like Greg in support of Sam Houston, this thing's going to go through the roof. And I'll tell you what, that orange down in Central Texas is going to have a hard time keeping up with the orange here in East Texas. That's what I believe, Greg. So we'll see how it goes as the years go on.
Well, I love the Bearcats. I didn't graduate from them, but I am a lifetime alumni member as a friend of the Bearcats. And it all started when Will was a freshman and played football, for 4 years for Ron Randleman, and that's how I met you and Ron Mafrige, and that's been a good relationship.
Yeah, love Sam Houston. Brings so much energy to the community.
Well, Chrissy, I know Greg introduced and talked a little bit just about the history. That's what I love about this community. You get to know people, and it's just you become friends, and that's what's so important about living here and being a part of Huntsville, Texas. And one reason why we wanted to come back, we miss just the friendship and the warm feeling. I always joke around, but it's the truth that literally you can hug anybody in this town and tell them you love them. Now, yesterday I told our winner on our text line that. I said, hey, we appreciate you chiming in. We love you. Her phone call dropped. She texted me back and said, she goes, don't worry, I didn't hang up on you. My phone died. So, Chrissy, let us just know, I know Greg kind of introduced you a little bit here, and you've done tremendous work throughout this community for so many years in different capacities, but now just a very important organization that you have started. I just wanted to give you some, and it's been a while. You've had this going for quite some time, and it's a tremendous organization with a First Touch family. Let us know just a little bit about your background and the story, here for this organization and the impact that you're making on so many others in times that they need someone to embrace them.
Yes. So in 2016, we lost my oldest son in a car wreck. And I was kind of feeling guilty about not running out and doing all the things, to honor his memory. And I kept kind of feeling like God was just saying, I need you to wait. This is bigger than just your child. It's about all of our lost parents. And so in, I guess, at the end of 20, I was sitting in church and heard about a young man that had been killed in the community, and was bound and determined to meet him, his family, see what I could do to sit and help. And I showed up, and we ended up kind of helping with the service. And I've worked with you, Greg, and yes. Helping some of your families through that process, which is, you don't expect to bury your children. It's very unnatural. But anyway, so from there, First Touch Family was born, and we started a blessing box ministry that we actually took to 19, the 19 that were killed in the Waco tragedy. The women of Northside Baptist actually came together and helped me get those boxes together. And we've since, just this year, last year we sent 136 boxes across the U.S. This year we've sent about 67 that just have resources for grief connection. We believe community is super important, and connection and collaboration in the grief space. And then we also do family assistance. And so last year, I think we paid out right about $70,000 in family assistance. That's anything from counseling services. We've helped with funeral services. I believe that it's after the casseroles go cold. Mm-hmm. It gets really lonely, really quiet. Mm-hmm. And so, I do believe that it's important to continue that connection past that initial, funeral process. So we've been really blessed to really minister to quite a few families, and it's brought healing for us. Obviously, I feel like it actually honors my boy. So, and his name's Christopher, and he just loved the downtrodden and the broken, and his heart was in the homeless and the bullies, and so this really speaks to who he was, as a person.
Well, you're really doing great work. You called me early on, asked what I thought about this, and I thought, Chrissy, this is something that will be earth-shattering, life-changing for many families, because they don't expect, they don't know, they don't have a clue what to do. Believe me, we know. Just this last week, and I need to share, you may know or may not, but we served 2 families out of our Montgomery location, a 17-year-old that passed unexpectedly, and then just a couple of days ago, a little 14-year-old girl that passed unexpectedly, had a tragic accident, thrown out of a golf cart. And and that's not the first time these golf carts have caused problems. But anyway, you may want to make contact with those 2 families and help. But in that time, because you don't think about pre-planning for your kids, that's just unnatural. And so they have no idea what to do, where to go, what resources, and that's not something that you get over in a day or 2 or a week or 2 or a year or 2 or in the rest of your life. You're going to, more than anybody. You never get over that loss. And anything that anybody can do is very helpful. And I know the families are very thankful for your help.
Yeah. That's our next step is to go into community groups that we can actually make those connections to keep parents connected with other parents of child loss, because you just, unless you know, you don't know. And we wouldn't want you to know. Yeah. We wouldn't want you to get it. But yeah, that's been a sweet connection. And I think I did have a referral on one of those children just recently. And we have found that, in that initial loss, you can't even think. And it is a lifetime journey. It's something we'll carry to the cross.
Yeah. Chrissy Cogdell joining us this morning here. She is the founder and executive director of First Touch Family, an organization, as I was kind of doing a little research just on the organization a few days ago, and I appreciate you reaching out to me and saying, hey, we'd love to be on and share our story. That's what this show is about. We want to highlight organizations and those in our community that are serving others, and that's what Huntsville's about. I always say you're voluntold here in Huntsville, by the way. Right. I got a message from someone last night texting me and saying, hey, I think you need to apply for this opportunity, to serve it in an organization. And it wasn't like, hey, will you? It was like, you need to. And I was like, all right, well, there you go. There's the voluntold of Huntsville. But Chrissy, as I was digging in, just part of the mission, and I wanted to make sure that I get this correctly, because my short-term memory is so terrible. I've read it numerous times, but providing tangible financial and emotional support to families from the trauma of the initial loss through aftercare, regardless of the age of the child. So many times our life experiences set us into a position to where we can be a blessing to others, and this is one of those situations, obviously, that you didn't want to have to be a blessing in this capacity, but you're honoring your son and you're doing tremendous work through other families. Whenever you talk about the process, what does that look like for someone who has just went through, obviously, one of the worst things that you could go through, but now trying to find support, trying to find help and healing? What does that process look like? Maybe someone out there today is saying, I've been through this. Maybe it even happened to them 5 years ago, and they're still trying to figure out how, to work around and to try to work through this situation. How do you kind of guide people through, and what does that look like?
So most of our phone calls come in as referrals. You'll have a family that's heard of a loss, or Greg will call and say, we've got a child that's passed in the community or one of the surrounding communities. And we get those calls from actually all over the state. And so at that point, we try to just assess what the needs are of the family. If there's a financial need, we think of funeral cost, I think, most of the time. Obviously, that's a huge portion initially, but then there's also loss of income. We have kids that need counseling, families that just need support. Maybe they're going to be out of work for a little bit. So those come in generally on a personal referral basis, unless it's our blessing box. So you can go on our website at firsttouchfamily.org and order a blessing box. Those are all supported 100% on donation. We send those out, as I said, all over. But those usually all of our things come in generally as referrals. We don't have families that necessarily reach out in that very first loss.
Yeah.
And then if I get a referral, I will call the family directly and kind of assess. We do have a strong policy. We don't allow anybody to go in and speak with a family who's had a child loss that has not lost a child themselves. We have volunteers that work in the background that have not lost children, and they're a huge asset to our organization. But we do feel like the first touch needs to be with a family of child loss.
Absolutely. Well, Chrissy, again, joining us here this morning, Chrissy Cogdell from First Touch Family. She is the founder and executive director. I appreciate you mentioning the blessing boxes. We just put those up on the screen right now for those of you that are watching live on the video portion of this Good Morning Huntsville, firsttouchfamily.org/blessing-boxes. You can go to the website. There's a link right there to it. And this is a great way just to support this organization. You're not really, you talk about supporting the organization, but it goes so much deeper than that. You're supporting families and helping them through just a time where they need support. I did want to ask you one thing, and if it's okay to mention this, because there's so many people during times of tragedy that want to get involved and they want to help. But sometimes folks don't really know the words to say. And there was a very great lady that I had met years ago back in Georgetown, in my hometown, that had lost her husband at a very young age. And she was saying, as much as I appreciated people saying, hey, my prayers are with you and all that, she said that it actually, people had good intentions, but she said to her it actually kind of did more damage because she wasn't looking for that at that time. She said, ultimately, I was really wanting people to reach out and say, hey, can I come mow your lawn? Can I provide a meal? Can you give a little bit of insight, if you don't mind, this morning of maybe just how someone, that is a friend of someone who is going through tragedy, that they can kind of offer that support as well? Just some of your insights on that.
Yes. As this is not going to be a popular thing to say, but as a Christian myself, I did not, and I hear this from most of our families, I did not want those kind of platitudes. Like, I know my child is in a better place, but that just wasn't the time to say those things. I would say that the most important thing is just to show up. And we can't remember our name most days. And so show up, take out the garbage, sit. You don't have to say anything. There's nothing you can say to make that any better. Show up, bring the donuts.
And and in Huntsville, we got a lot of donut places.
That's right. Bring the tissue, bring the donuts. Just be present. And, we have had families. That was one of the things that I realized early on. Ron and I always had this thing about when we had a funeral, we would, I'm the girl that brings the toilet paper. And my friends laugh at me all the time, but you don't think about it.
That's right.
You don't want to be worried about all these people coming in and out of your house not having toilet paper. So that's kind of always been our thing: the paper towels, the toilet paper, things like that. Because everybody else is going to bring the food.
Right.
Just be present. And I've just gone and fed horses. Ordered hay and things like that. We had a young man killed in the Montgomery County community, and he was the primary caretaker of all their animals. And so the best thing we could do for the family was show up with feed and just feed, because it wasn't something that the family would necessarily think about doing. So there's so much more than just that initial feed us, but feed us for a long time, like not just the first couple of weeks. Go ahead and keep feeding us. What saved my life really was because it does get very lonely, and what saved my life was I had a friend that actually she was kind of an acquaintance, and she would just show up and say, I'm going to walk the Forest Road. If you want to join me. And some days we'd walk 6 miles and not say a word, and I always felt obligated to get up. I probably would have stayed in bed, but that really was really therapeutic. And to this day, we still meet, and I call it my soul-to-soul therapy. Just show up. You don't have to say anything, but keep showing up. Keep showing up. And don't be afraid to talk. That you can't make us any sadder. Like, you can't walk up to me and talk to me about Christopher and make me any sadder than I already am. But it reminds me that you remember my child, whether it's I'm 7 years down the road and, 20 years down the road, just ask. Tell me a funny story. We don't get photos anymore. I'll never have another photo. So when somebody sends me a photo, that's so precious.
Yeah. I think it's such a good message for people to hear, and I appreciate you answering that question because sometimes it's not unpopular. It's not the popular answer, and this is what this particular lady had revealed to me years ago. And so now, whenever I hear of a friend or someone that is going through that, I used to say, "Hey, well, my prayers are with you." Well, now it's like, "Hey, can I come by and bring you a meal? Can I show up, mow your lawn?" It's the little things that you mentioned. An incredible organization making a difference, Chrissy, with so many families that are in need. You already talked about the blessing boxes. I know that there's somebody out there this morning saying, it's tugging at their heart saying, I want to support Chrissy and her message. I want to be a part of this. Outside of the blessing boxes, I know some other events coming up, a little Christmas in July. Greg and I were talking earlier about it's July. Here's Christmas in July. You guys are having one. Let us know a little bit more about how folks can support the organization.
Yes, we are. On our Facebook page, there is a link for Christmas in July. We've got some beautiful auction items, and all that money does go back for our family assistance programs. And so you can hop on there and sign up to bid. You can bid through the 16th and pick up some really nice items. We've got jewelry and purses. And I found out one day that you had to have a bingo license to have a purse auction. So I didn't get
really?
that. Yeah. Maybe down the road. But
you have to have that. I thought in Huntsville you can just do whatever and not worry about it,
Right. No, you have to have a bingo license, a temporary gambling license, I guess, to do a purse auction. That was kind of the first idea that we had. But then we were scheduled to do an event that fell through in March because another nonprofit that we were renting our building from kind of fell through. And so we've got these beautiful items, and we're going to have Christmas in July.
Awesome.
So pick up a purse or some jewelry. Rhonda would love some jewelry. I'm sure there's something on there.
And she's got a purse or two.
Yes.
So we're showing the Facebook page here right now. Again, Chrissy Cogdell joining us this morning, founder and executive director of First Touch Family here in Huntsville, and wanted to let folks know, please go by, make sure that you support Chrissy and her efforts, and you can be involved. Just go to, some people say, well, Rob, I can't give any money. The easiest way to get involved is just share things, support organizations as well. Of course, financial donations and blessings, that's how organizations run. But if you don't have resources to do that, just spread awareness about the organizations, because I always say within our circles, we all have our own circles of influence and people that we are close to that are friends. I guarantee that there's 30 people right now that I could call that don't know about the organization. And so just share information. The Facebook page is there, facebook.com/First Touch Family. You can get started by just liking the page, and then you'll see updates about what's going on. Chrissy, I did want to put a direct link to the auction as well. I saw that on the Facebook page there through Charity Auctions Today, I believe.
That is correct.
And so I'm going to put that up. We're going to make it super easy. Go to the Facebook page, of course, like it, but I'm also going to pop that link up directly to the, of course, Facebook redoes the URLs, and but I'll put this up here for folks, and all you got to do is just click on this link. Some great items that are being listed here on this auction as well, and so you can click on the link there. I know if you're listening to the audio, you won't be able to see that because it's pretty long, but just go to the Facebook page and you'll find out more.
I also wanted to mention real quickly, if you're a family in the area that has lost a child, we are going to launch a community gathering on September the 11th. That will be with Cornerstone Church in Madisonville. That's Pastor David Medina. He and his wife have lost 2 children. So we'd love to have you join us for an evening of dinner and just community to celebrate your children. And then in December the 2nd, we'll have our second annual remembrance dinner. And we get together for those in that evening. My boy loves steak. And I remember after, if Mama was paying, it was steak and lobster. And so Christopher loves steak. And I remember after he passed, I just was talking to a friend that had also lost a child, and I said, one day I just want to have a steak dinner with all my friends and just celebrate our kids. And so that's kind of where the remembrance dinner came from. And Greg helped this last year. He provided ornaments for all of our families, and we just kind of get together and honor our children, have a candle lighting ceremony, and that's December the 2nd. It's going to be at Hodgepodge Lodge in Montgomery.
Great. Is Greg on the grill with the steaks or not? You're not cooking them, Greg?
No, Leona Steakhouse actually.
Oh, that's great.
Yeah.
Yeah,
they
the
did have steaks.
Hodgepodge Lodge this year, though, those guys are tremendous. They're actually located right next door to the funeral home.
They sure are.
And they're in Montgomery, so they're our next door neighbor and got a great relationship with them. And we have brochures at all of our locations for your group.
Thank you.
Anybody that comes in the door and that has lost a child, and we always hand out a little brochure, and very well done. And so anybody out there that's listening that maybe doesn't get on the internet or on Facebook, wants to stop by and get a brochure, well, those are available at all of our locations.
Thank you. I really appreciate that. And you're right. It is about kind of just getting the word out. It's not something we want to talk about a whole lot.
What are some other ways besides the auction, besides financial support and getting the word out that folks can get involved? Is there opportunities for someone to volunteer in the organization or things such as that?
Yes, there are. I've actually just recently had a couple of ladies here from the community contact me, and they are interested in actually going through and helping us pack all of our blessing boxes and get those out to our families across the state. So that's a great opportunity. I've had families just call and say, will you send me a click list? And they just ship things that they'd like to put in the boxes to our families. So I would say first, if you can just pray for those families and the organizations, look within your community and see if there are opportunities for us to share with others, our resources, churches. I think especially, I've talked to a couple of churches, and unfortunately, what I was getting back to what you were talking about, where your friend said, "Hey, I don't want those kind of platitudes," is that our churches, most of the time, I get back, well, if they're not involved in a small group. If you're not involved in a small group, then we don't know how to continue that support. So, if you can just let your community churches know that we are here as a resource. If you have a family that's lost a child in the community, like our Facebook page, call if we can help.
And just
refer your friends.
And that's right. Just get connected and help out in those ways. You'd mentioned earlier, of course, I know that you're here in the Huntsville area. What areas does your organization particularly serve?
Well,
I know you said statewide earlier.
We serve families all over the state. We actually have some really sweet partnerships across the U.S. We've got some partnerships even out as far as Washington State that serve families that they do headstones for babies, 1-year-old, womb loss. And so we've partnered with them, and they have served our families here in this community, and they've served our families that are across the state. We've got a sweet partnership with Texas Children's Initiative out of Houston, and so they will refer children that don't make it through the transplant process, and those can be Oklahoma, or they can be right down the road in the Conroe area. So our community groups will start in this area. We'll start with Madisonville. We've got a huge group out of the Bryan College Station area, Montgomery, the Woodlands, Huntsville. Trinity has a very large population of child loss. So
yeah, it's great to have you guys providing such needed support with so many families, and the resources from folks like Greg too, being able to get that information out there to help out folks during these times. We did have a couple of questions here, and I appreciate everybody that's joining us. I know that you mentioned earlier that Leona Steakhouse donates steaks. There was someone, Jen had sent a message asking how many people usually are at this remembrance dinner. She was asking because she said we raise our steers and would love to donate some steak. So I don't know if she would be able to do that or not, but I wanted to let you answer that question.
Yes, thank you so very much. We appreciate that. We had 75 last year that showed up in a massive storm, so we weren't sure how many we were going to have. Kind of limited space there. Actually, is it Diamond G Ranch donated their location to us for that dinner, and we were full. And then Leona Steakhouse did this year for the remembrance dinner, because that's at Hodgepodge Lodge. They will be helping. They'll be handling the dinner for us. We'll obviously be raising funds to cover that dinner, because I certainly don't want to. I don't want to charge our parents.
Yeah.
Right.
You know, I just want them to come. And Christmas is hard. Thanksgiving is hard. But thank you very much. We would love that. And there is an opportunity in Madisonville for our community gathering that we're having, if they're interested in donating some
Perfect.
of that meat.
Yeah, and I put the email there, Chrissy. Is this a good way for them to reach you? info@firsttouchfamily.org. Would that be a good way?
It is, yes.
So, yeah,
it
if
is.
someone's out there today, I know you can go through the website as well, but if you'd like a direct email, it'll go right to Chrissy. Just email info@firsttouchfamily.org. And Jen, thanks so much for that. She said we don't have a lot, but we would love to donate some steaks or help out in that capacity. So that is great,
Thank
and
you.
We appreciate that, Jen, coming in as well. Chrissy, just a great morning educating our viewers out here and throughout the community of this organization. And I just loved hearing the friendship between Greg and you. It's tremendous. That's what I love about Huntsville. I say it all the time, and I'll continue to say it until the day that I'm no longer here, is that we are blessed to be in Huntsville, Texas. You've been here. You've seen a lot of great things over the years, Chrissy. Just what has this community meant to you?
This community has carried a lot of my laughter and a lot of my tears, and I'm thankful for that. I always feel like it's coming home. I remember raising my kids here, and you'd go down to the parades and stuff, and you watched your kids, but you knew everybody else was watching your kids too. And there's a sweetness to that kind of community here. I think the university just brings an energy, the college students and the football programs, and then Huntsville High School. I mean, Steve Clements, was our head football star at the time, and Coach Clements was, coaching us, and so that's always been a vital part of the community. But it's sweet to come home and just connect. I think you can't really go in. You probably can't either go into a restaurant and just have a quiet dinner. You have to leave town to have
Well, that's one of the good things about Huntsville.
It is.
You walk into a place and you know most of the people there, and we've lost that in the big cities. Why I love living here.
Yeah.
I couldn't even leave the state without Huntsville catching up to me.
That's right.
Greg knows the story, but I'll let you know, because obviously Greg was there. But we talked about it last week when Greg was on the show. But
Right.
I'm 2 weeks in Fargo, and I get a phone call saying, "Rob, do you want to go to lunch?" And Greg's up in Fargo. So
That's awesome.
It's once Huntsville grabs a hold of you, it's never going to let go of you. And we love this community. We love what you're doing, Chrissy, and love you, and appreciate just the wonderful work that you're doing with families in their most trying times, and helping to provide that support system that is so much needed. Again, those events coming up, Christmas in July. You can go to the website at firsttouchfamily.org for more information there. And please purchase those blessing boxes. 100% of that goes to support families, and those funds are put to a great use through a great organization that is continuing to be a blessing and will be a blessing for generations to come. I truly believe that. It's not just going to be, here for the next 50 years. I really believe that what you have started, and I'll just, sometimes I think if you say things, sometimes maybe that lights a fire, but I really believe that this is an organization that can quite literally, as you said, making a difference here throughout the state. But I think that there's going to be an opportunity to continue to grow throughout the United States, and I kind of envision you as being the teacher of this for folks. And I think it's important. And most importantly, it's such a great way to honor your son, and just to be a blessing there through him, which is incredible.
Thank you. It's really been an honor to be able to just get to know even our other parents' children. And I'll share a real sweet story. You were talking about just the connection outside of the community. The football player that lost his daughter, I guess, was 2, and Florida, and it was all over the news. And I thought, oh dear God, how am I going to reach this family, right? So 4 o'clock in the morning, someone from Huntsville was in the airport getting ready to go to Florida, and was talking to someone else, another football player from the area, and mentioned this gentleman started sharing his own story of loss and said, I'm going to Florida to see my friend who just lost his 2-year-old baby. 4:30 in the morning, I got a personal text to reach out to connect with this I guess he plays for the Florida Buccaneers, but to be able to connect with that. So you were sharing about how Huntsville always kind of goes outside the boundaries of Huntsville. That is a sweet connection when you know everybody in town and they share, outside the community. It's really a sweet connection.
It is.
Yeah. Well, Chrissy, again, appreciate you being here with us this morning, and just so great to have you. We'll have to check in with you again, after the event down the road, and please continue to reach out to us. We'll be more than happy to have you back on another time, and just to give us some updates about what's happening. We've been blessed with this platform continuing to grow, and we don't say that for us. We say it because we want to reach the community and bring on organizations such as you and be able to offer support through what we do. So we appreciate that. Before we let you go, Greg, y'all been friends for a while. Any final comments, any questions you may have had, Greg?
Well, God bless you, Chrissy. You're making a big difference in people's lives, and you've always been someone who's made a difference no matter what you're doing. And so we thank you and look forward to working together many years to come.
Thank you. I am grateful for your friendship and your support through the years.
Thank you.
Well, friends, again, yes, you bet. Absolutely. And thank you for reaching out. See, if it's like, I have a friend, Justin always tells me, if you don't, I can't ever get these phrases right, man. My memory is so, and I even take I call him Dr. Blaine. He's not a doctor, but next door over Cloud 9, he's like, try this. You go in there and ask him, and he'll tell you. He's not a doctor. He'll tell you. But he's like, take this and do this. And he's been giving me something, a supplement that actually is working a little bit. But, man, there's still like something not firing up here, Greg. I don't know what it is,
I
man.
think it's lack of sleep.
Yeah, that's probably what it is. But it's if you don't do it, if you don't try, you won't know. Or if you don't do it, you won't know. And so, you know what? Get out and do things. And she reached out to us, and if she wouldn't have reached out, we wouldn't have known about you. So we appreciate it, and we want to continue to promote the great things happening here in our community, such as Chrissy and the fine work that she's doing. Appreciate you being here again.
Thank you for having me.
Well, friends, we will step aside. I do have a birthday shout out coming up here in just a few moments. Also, wanted to remind you before we go, we will be talking about these care packages we'll give away. I got to do one final time to celebrate a little 4th of July here as we wrap up this week. You can text the word fireworks. In fact, you got 2 more minutes to do it because that text line will close at 8 o'clock automatically. You can text the word fireworks along with your name to 936-339-0139. Text that in, and we will draw our winner and a little birthday greeting whenever we come back. So stay with us. More to come here. That's your show, Good Morning Huntsville. Friday. Man, here we are, Friday.
It's been a good week, great week, and we're glad it's Friday.
What's on the tab for you this weekend, Greg? There's always something.
We've got 2 services, one on Saturday, one on Sunday, and so the staff will be taking care of those while Rhonda and I go fishing.
There you go.
That's on the agenda.
Awesome.
We're going to leave this afternoon if everything is stable and in good order, and so we're going to go down to do a little fishing down in Baffin Bay.
You'll be all right. Pastor told me one time, he just said, have the attitude that all is well.
All is well.
He said, you could be going through some difficult times, but just remember with God, all is well.
And all can be well 1 second, and all could not be so well, 10 seconds later in our business, unfortunately.
Yeah.
So, it's been a good week.
Awesome. Well, Greg Smith, Sam Houston Memorial Funeral Home, we appreciate him, and they are the experts, the hometown experts in celebrating life and, going through some of your most difficult situations that you can imagine. And I can tell you this because I know Greg, and not just because he's sitting next to me, and I tell Billy this all the time, but even when I first came to Huntsville, before I did anything, Greg, I've always just admired what you guys do over there, and you're going to feel like family when you come in. If you're going through a situation and, you need services for a family member, for a friend, for someone that's been lost, I can guarantee you Sam Houston Memorial Funeral Home is going to go above and beyond. They're going to take care of you. Most importantly, they're going to show you compassion in a time that you really need it. And so we appreciate that. And one time when I walked over there to the location here in Huntsville off Normal Park, I walked in and I felt like I was at home. I was like, but this does not feel like a funeral home. It felt like I was at home.
That's on purpose. When we designed that building and had it decorated, that was the goal. We told the designers that we want this to feel like home. We don't want it to feel like a funeral home. And so she had never decorated a funeral home before, which is good. I said, just decorate it like it's a home, a nice home that you're decorating, and so that's what she did. Exactly that. Her mother made the draperies, and she has a furniture store, and so she brought in the furniture and did and selected the paint and interior just like it was a home. And so that's the feel that we want, and we're excited about our new addition that's coming, and it's even going to make it feel more like home.
It's great. That's a good message. So, for me, I never worked for anything in radio before I came here years ago, and so I had a whole different viewpoint on how all that should work. And folks said, "Man, this is great. We never thought of this before." And I said,
right.
"Well, it's sometimes you got to teach an old dog new tricks. So it's always
right.
good. It's always kind of good to kind of be in to be in a new lane that maybe you're not familiar with, because you can bring new ideas and creativity." So I did want to mention also Rick and Kay. It's their 18th anniversary tomorrow. So happy 18 wonderful, blissful, glorious years together. So Rick and Kay Boning, appreciate them.
Had breakfast with them after church Sunday morning.
I saw that, yeah. You guys go to University Heights, that's right.
Baptist Church, along with Rick and Kay.
Hey, I did want to mention a little birthday shout out here right now. My friend Stephen Kroll messaged me yesterday and said, listen, July 6th, was their anniversary. 21 glorious, blissful, amazing, never arguing years. Because that's what it takes at 21 years. You can never, ever have an argument, right, Greg?
Well, I'm not so sure about that.
Yeah, but you can't ever just kidding. If arguments sometimes keep you at 21 years. And so, hey, happy anniversary, Casey and Stephen. Congratulations to you guys. 21st anniversary. Check this out. 21st I said birthday was their anniversary, by the way. Sorry. Happy anniversary. 21st anniversary, being married, our 25th year as a couple. He just said, I want to wish her a happy anniversary, and sorry that I got it in late. And he said, if you can find it in the busy schedule, could you please do that? So happy anniversary to the Krolls.
Happy anniversary.
And they are Hornets through and through, man. I think she's the president with the Hornet quarterback club, the booster club. And so, man, how about that? Greg, I got to do one thing.
Okay.
It's going to be slightly dead air for 5 seconds because I forgot something. Hold on 1 second. I'll be right back. I got to grab these prizes.
Well, we'll try not to have any dead air. That's not a good thing to have. So we'll keep it rolling here for a second as you gather the prizes. And there they are. We have got two wonderful gifts, compliments
This is from our friend Victoria Bothman over at our friends at Be the Light Counseling. Greg, that's why I love having you on, because you're a radio guy back in the day.
I was.
And so you know what to do.
I did about 12 years of play-by-play football back in the day, the mighty Wheeler Mustangs.
How about that,
as they won the state championship in 87, 89, and I had the opportunity to do 2 state championship broadcasts.
We had, and Greg knew one time I said, Greg, can I ever get you? You're so busy, it'd be hard to. But one day, I'm going to find a game that just some game, random game, that you and I can do together. I think it'd be a lot of fun.
I do too. Well, maybe New Waverly.
Yeah, we'll
something down in that neck of the woods.
We'll figure that out. All right, here we go. We're going to give away. Let's start first. We have a his and hers that we're going to give away. And depending on who answers, we'll figure out which one to give away first. But all you got to do, super simple, all you got to do is just answer the phone. If you don't answer, Greg, you don't win, right?
That's right.
So here we go. We're gonna play this here. Again, appreciate Chrissy. She's heading out. Here we go. We got a little ring going on
got
here.
A live one.
Hello.
Hello, Phil Brent, Roy D. Mercer here from, I'm just kidding. It's Hello Huntsville. How you doing, my friend?
I'm doing all right, brother. How are you?
I'm good. Who is this?
Stacy Lawler.
Oh, it's Brother Lawler, man. Come on, brother. What's up? You already won, but you know what? It was a couple of months ago. I think you were one of our first prize winners, man.
Oh, yeah. It was great. Still using that clown card.
Great, man. Well, since
he really needs this too. Facial cleansing and makeup wipes. You're going to love that station. Bubble bath salts.
Yeah, you want all that, Stacy? Or we got, you know what? We got
we got the man package over there.
Man, this got the Bandito mask bar. Chill a minute or 30. All right, Stacy. So this is the only thing I'm going to ask is you got to take a photo of. You got to send us a photo of you putting on this whatever this, Man, this thing has whatever this Kalen shea butter, olive oil. This is for men, though, by the way.
That's true.
This is the men one here.
Yeah, okay.
Man, look, got a little massager here. Check that out, man, Stacy. You got, you get the better half kind of massaging that.
Is that a hair net? What? No, that's one of those scrubber deals.
We got you a loofah in here, Greg. I mean, Stacy. But there is some really good. This, by the way, is from Victoria over at Be the Light Counseling. We appreciate her. Now, this is some cool stuff. Here's some Shaveleys, and I know, Stacy, you got a beard going. Right?
A bit.
Yeah, we got some Shaveleys men's grooming, body wash, beard wash. So that looks pretty cool. Look at this, man. This is all for men, by the way. Here's the big one, though, Stacy.
We got him some wet wipes.
We got you some men's deodorant wipes, all right? This is wipe away sweat and odor, all right, my friend?
Oh, goodness.
All right, and then also some. So yeah, we got this for you. It is a great, and I appreciate Victoria. This is so great and thoughtful for her. So
it is great.
Stacey, congratulations, man. I'll get this over to you. I'll text you after the show. And man, thanks for listening and chiming in. We appreciate you so much, man.
Oh yeah, we enjoy the show, man.
Hey, as always, what do you love most about Huntsville, Stacey?
The people.
I love it. That's all I got to say, the people.
That's right.
That's it. Hey, brother, we appreciate you. Have a blessed rest of your weekend. And, hey, what are you up to this weekend? Got to ask you that, too. What's going on this weekend?
DJing a friend of mine's retirement party tonight, and then I'm just going to probably ride bikes or something the rest of the weekend.
There you go. All right.
Hey, Stacy, make sure you don't put these wet wipes down in the sewer, too.
Oh, no. They
Yeah.
do not belong there. They belong in the trash can.
Yeah, exactly. I think he posted something earlier about that.
Yeah, don't be doing that because we know who's going to call. Stacy don't put up with that here in Huntsville, so
That's
don't do it.
exactly right.
Hey, brother, we love you, man.
I'll track you down.
He will, man. And, they have DNA testing now with the city, right? Y'all have DNA testing where you
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. So, all right, brother. Hey, we love you, man. Have a great weekend, my friend.
All right. Y'all too.
Thank you.
All right, there he is. So that's our first winner. So that'll go to Stacy. Well, this is fun today, Greg. We got one more. You got time for one more, Greg?
Absolutely.
All right, we got one more here today. One more.
Compliments of Victoria Bothman over at a great place.
Be the Light Counseling.
Be the Light Counseling.
And she just got started, with the that's what's so great is she just got started, and she is very active in the chamber now, and that is so great. Some of these have already won. That's why I was flipping through. What was Stacy's number? I want to make sure we don't call him again here. All right, let's see who this is. This is a new one that came in here, Greg.
Okay.
All right, let's do one more call. We do, I don't have a producer, so we just got to produce ourselves, man. don't answer, you don't win.
Hello?
Hello?
Yes.
Who's this?
Hello? This is Stephanie.
Hey, Stephanie, this is your vehicle warranty service. How you doing? We're just calling to sell you a warranty. It's only $100 a month. Are you interested?
This is Hello Huntsville. On my caller ID.
No, it is not. Your caller ID is broken. So we just need your social security number, please, and your credit card. Just kidding. I mean, what Stephanie is?
How are y'all?
Good. What Stephanie is this?
Stephanie Peterson.
Oh, Stephanie. You haven't won yet, Stephanie.
No, I haven't.
We called because you're the winner today. And you know it was perfect. Stacy Lawler, he answered. He won the men's care package. I have a nice hers care package. Greg, what do we have in here? It's from Be the Light Counseling. What's in here?
It's Stephanie, you are the proud winner of some Coconut Coast Ocean Spray foaming hand soap.
Ooh.
You've got some facial cleansing makeup wipes, cucumber and aloe. You have some bubbling bath salts. It is just fantastic. Body wash.
Awesome.
And a really nice package.
Yeah, we did take the $1 million cash prize that was out of there, though. Greg and I are going to split that.
Oh, we have a mask. Now, this is what, Stephanie, we need a picture of you whenever you use this nourishing facial sheet mask. Make sure it repairs dry, damaged skin, provides an antioxidant boost. So we need a picture, don't we, Rob?
Yeah, we do, Stephanie.
Most definitely.
By the way, Greg is going to be the new guy on The Price is Right that talks about the products. They've hired him on, and he'll be leaving Huntsville to join The Price is Right soon.
Behind door number 1.
Yeah, behind. Stephanie, what was your last name again? I apologize.
Peterson.
Okay, that's right, Stephanie.
Yeah.
All right. Well, I will text you here in a little bit. We'll arrange a pickup for these prizes. Congratulations. Okay. Yeah, how did you find out about our show and Hello Huntsville?
Facebook.
Perfect. There you go.
Good answer.
Yeah.
How long have you been in Huntsville?
Awesome.
How long have you been in Huntsville?
I was born here, raised.
Awesome.
What do you love? What do you love? What do you love most, Stephanie, about Huntsville?
It's still small enough, but big enough. You know, it's growing a little bit, but, you know, it's just a hometown feel.
Do you feel that Huntsville is missing Kohl's? Do we need a Kohl's department store or not?
No. Okay. We got plenty.
All right, I love that because you can just take a 30-minute ride down and go to your Kohl's, right?
We need another car wash and a Mexican food restaurant. That's what we really need.
Yeah. Do we need a car wash?
No, we got plenty of cars.
Well, Stephanie, we appreciate you. Do you watch the show, by the way, or you just saw the texting on the post on Facebook?
I just saw the post. Yeah.
Well, you know we have a morning show. You can watch us from 7 to 8 a.m. I don't know why you'd want to, but you can.
That's cool, though.
Yeah, every single morning, Monday through Friday, you can watch, and I'm glad you answered. But Monday through Friday, 7 a.m. to 8 a.m. And if you miss it, you can always go back and watch it later. And we
okay, great.
Yeah, and we wouldn't be able to bring it without Greg Smith. You're live right now on the air, so that's here on Facebook and YouTube.
Goodness.
Friday's the best day.
Friday is the best day.
Watch on Friday for sure.
So
get you an update on all things Huntsville Hornets.
That's right, everything. So Stephanie, hey, I always do you agree with this statement? Is Huntsville one of the places where you can literally tell almost anybody you love them and give them a hug?
Oh yeah.
Boom, rest my case. Somebody told me the other day you can't keep saying that, Rob. I said no, you can.
Oh, absolutely.
So
you won't even get slapped.
You won't even get slapped. You may get backhanded.
Yeah.
So Stephanie, hey, we love you, appreciate you. Have a great day, and God bless you, and congratulations. I'll text you a little bit later, and you have won the hers gift basket from our good friend Victoria Bothman over at Be the Light Counseling here in Huntsville.
Awesome. Thank y'all so much.
You got it. Have a great weekend.
Stephanie.
You too. Bye-bye.
See, that's the thing, Greg, is some folks don't realize that we have a morning show.
I can't imagine. Where have they been? Hiding under a rock?
I guess. But you know what? We're growing. Someone had messaged me yesterday and said that I don't feel like there's a lot of engagement. I said, brother, honestly, we're getting about 400 views by the end of the day.
Right.
So,
it's not necessarily live at the time.
No.
We're usually in double digits, but we've got multiple platforms too.
That's right.
That you can view.
So Victoria was chiming in. She said, congratulations to the winners. So thank you for donating that. Again, our great friend over at Be the Light Counseling. She is very involved in a chamber now and, for counseling needs. You may be going through a difficult situation, need somebody to talk to. Victoria is vested here in the community, and she is a Bearcat, too.
That's
so
right.
It's good to have her here.
Awesome.
A lot of friends joining us as well. Appreciate them. We didn't get to all of them today, but Greg, boy, that'll wrap it up. I'm out of breath today.
Good. Go take a nap.
Yeah, I need one after being up till 2 a.m.
Yeah.
So, well, that'll wrap it up here. As always, friends, we hope you have a wonderful and blessed weekend. Some news that I have, wanted to wait until the end here. I will not be here next week. So we are leaving. Just got a phone call from some friends in the Midwest that'd like me to be their new play-by-play guy. So we are packing up and heading out. Just kidding.
Yeah,
We're
I
not
started
doing
to say, no, that's not true.
We're not. Yeah, if you saw my post, I said I pray every night for an opportunity to be back somewhere. No, the truth is baby Caden will be making his entrance on Monday, and so we appreciate the community and just the prayers, and so he will be here on Monday. That procedure scheduled for 1:30. So our boy will be here, future Hornet and Bearcat.
There you go.
And so we will be out, but the show will go on. The show must go on.
That's right.
Garrick Long has graciously stepped up and said, man, I'd love to help you whenever the baby comes. And I called Garrick yesterday and said, the baby's coming. And so the show will be on all next week. We will be doing it remotely, though, but you can still watch it just like here. It's just Garrick's going to be helping us out there, so we appreciate him being involved and offering that.
Garrick's doing a great job running the bookstore down at at the university, and he's a good friend.
He is a great man, and once again, folks in Huntsville stepping up, helping out, and we appreciate it. So we'll catch up with you. I may chime in if I get a moment, but probably not. Otherwise, I will see all of you week after next, and make sure to tune in next week. We'll still have prizes going and all that fun stuff, so just keep it right here on Hello Huntsville.
It'll be the Garrick and Billy show next Friday.
Oh, it's going to be great, man.
Yeah.
It's going to be great. I was trying to think of a word, but we'll come up with that phrase later for what that's going to be. Again, appreciate our great friends at Sam Houston Memorial Funeral Home and Greg Smith. We would not be able to be here on a Friday without Greg, and we wouldn't be able to highlight great nonprofits without our sponsors every day of the week, and Greg is our sponsor here of Sam Houston Memorial Funeral Home again on Fridays. Did want to thank you to Elliott's Jewelers also, our studio presented by Elliott's Jewelers. You can find him online at elliottjewelers.com. If you haven't signed up for the newsletter yet, please do that. We just put out some new information on that newsletter about our Rays of Hope summer fundraising drive. That will be happening on July the 29th. Friends, as I end every show, I want to remind you this morning, we're not strong enough alone to make it on our own. We need each other. Provide a word of encouragement, lend a hand of support. Somebody out there needs you. Greg, been a fun one.
Thank you, Rob. God bless you, and we'll be praying for a healthy baby and healthy mother.
You got it. Good morning. God bless Huntsville. We'll see you next time here on Good Morning Huntsville.